In the distant future, humans have built a thriving colony on a beautiful planet called New Haven. The sun shines brightly, casting warm light on the tall, sleek buildings made of shiny metal. People walk around happily, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Robots assist them with daily tasks, moving smoothly along the streets. It seems like a perfect day, but something dark looms in the distance. Commander Bonner stands on a balcony overlooking the colony. He is a strong leader, respected by his soldiers. His deep brown eyes scan the horizon, where small dots appear against the blue sky. He frowns as he tries to focus on those dots, feeling a strange sense of unease. Something isn't right, he thinks, sensing a disturbance in the peaceful atmosphere. Suddenly, the peace is shattered by the loud blaring of alarms throughout the colony. Red lights flash everywhere, casting an eerie glow on the faces of the people below. A robotic voice echoes through the air. "Alert! Incoming ships detected. Prepare for possible attack!" Panic spreads like wildfire as families rush to find shelter. Children cling to their parents, their eyes wide with fear. Bonner quickly gathers his top officers in a secure command center. The atmosphere is tense as they analyze the situation. "These ships are not ours," one officer says, pointing to the screen filled with data. "They belong to the Zarkons, a ruthless alien race known for their advanced technology and fierce attacks." The room falls silent as the realization hits them. Bonner feels a surge of adrenaline. He knows the Zarkons have superior firepower and high-tech weapons, but he also knows his people. "We can't just wait for them to attack," he says, his voice steady. "We need to prepare our defenses and get the civilians to safety. Every second counts." His officers nod, determination replacing fear on their faces. As the team begins to strategize, the screen shows the Zarkon fleet approaching rapidly. Massive warships glide through space, their surfaces gleaming ominously. Cloaking devices make them nearly invisible, but their presence is felt like a dark shadow looming over the colony. Bonner feels a knot in his stomach. He has fought many battles, but this feels different. He gathers his soldiers, speaking passionately about the need to protect their home. "We will fight for our families, our friends, and our future. We may be outnumbered, but we are not weak. We are humans!" His words ignite a fire in their hearts, and the soldiers cheer, ready to defend their colony. As the Zarkon ships descend upon New Haven, the humans scramble to prepare for battle. They set up makeshift barricades, armed with improvised weapons. Bonner leads his team in organizing a defense plan, mapping out their territory and identifying key locations to protect. Just as they finish, the first wave of Zarkon ships opens fire. Bright beams of light streak across the sky, striking buildings and causing explosions that rock the colony. Smoke fills the air and chaos erupts. The sounds of alarms and screams blend into a terrifying symphony of war. Bonner watches as the devastation unfolds, a mix of fear and resolve building within him. "Move! Move!" he shouts, rallying his soldiers as they prepare to counterattack. "We fight together! We fight for our home!" The stakes have never been higher. As the aliens invade, Bonner realizes that this battle is not just for survival, it is a fight to prove that humanity will not be easily defeated. The tension rises, gripping the audience as they anticipate the fierce clash that is about to unfold. Will the humans find a way to fight back against their technologically advanced enemies? The screen fades to black, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, eager to see what will happen next. As the sun sets over New Haven, the sky is filled with dark clouds of smoke rising from the battle. The sounds of explosions and cries fill the air, and the once peaceful colony has turned into a scene of chaos. Commander Bonner and his team huddle in their makeshift command center, surrounded by screens displaying live feeds of the fight. They see their brave soldiers trying to hold the line against the overwhelming Zarkon forces. "Look at them," Bonner says, pointing at the screen where human soldiers fight valiantly. "They're giving everything they have. We can't let them down." His heart swells with pride, but also fear. He knows they are outnumbered, facing an enemy with far superior technology. But he believes in his people, their courage, and their determination. With a fierce determination, Bonner decides that they cannot just defend. They need a plan to strike back. "We may not have the advanced weapons they do, but we have something stronger. Our will to fight for our home," he declares. The officers around him nod in agreement, inspired by their leader's words. Bonner assembles a small group of soldiers who are willing to take risks. They are the best of the best, each with unique skills that will be crucial in their fight against the Zarkons. Among them is Sam, a brilliant engineer who can make weapons from everyday items, and Mia, a skilled fighter known for her quick reflexes and sharp instincts. "Listen up, everyone," Bonner begins, his voice steady. "We're going to launch a surprise attack. While the Zarkons are busy focusing on our defenses, we'll hit them where it hurts. Sam, I need you to create something that can penetrate their cloaking shields. Mia, you'll lead the charge." The soldiers rally around Bonner, ready to follow him into the fray. They gather supplies using whatever they can find: old mining equipment, tools, and even kitchen appliances. Sam works tirelessly, assembling devices that can disable the Zarkon ships. He mixes wires and gadgets, his hands moving quickly, showing his genius in action. As night falls, the atmosphere is thick with tension. Bonner and his team sneak through the shadows, moving stealthily toward the Zarkon encampment. They avoid the main roads, using the terrain to their advantage. The colony is dark, but the glow of the Zarkon ships lights up the night sky, illuminating their terrifying shapes. Suddenly, they hear the loud roar of a Zarkon patrol nearby. The soldiers freeze, holding their breath. Bonner signals for everyone to hide behind some rocks. They watch as the aliens, tall and intimidating, walk by, their weapons scanning the area. The tension is palpable, and every second feels like an eternity. Once the patrol passes, they continue their mission. Bonner feels a mix of fear and excitement. This is their chance to show that humans are not weak, even when faced with the most powerful enemies. As they approach the Zarkon base, they can see the ships up close, their technology shining like jewels in the night. When they reach their target, Sam quickly sets up the device he created. "This should disable their cloaking shield, allowing us to see their ships clearly," he explains. The team holds their breath as he activates it. The device hums to life, and suddenly a bright light illuminates the area. The Zarkon ships flicker into view, their advanced technology now exposed. "Now's our chance," Mia shouts, and they charge forward, adrenaline pumping through their veins. The humans launch their surprise attack with surprising ferocity. Bonner leads the charge, shouting orders and inspiring his soldiers to fight harder. The scene turns into a whirlwind of chaos as humans engage in close quarters combat with Zarkon soldiers. The bright beams of energy weapons illuminate the night, and explosions rock the ground as both sides clash. Bonner feels alive, the thrill of battle pushing him forward. Though the humans are outmatched, their hearts burn with determination. With each strike, they prove that they are not just survivors, they are fighters. They are the underdogs, rising against the odds, showing the Zarkons that they will not back down. As the battle rages on, Bonner knows they are not just fighting for survival, they are fighting for their future. They are proving that even the smallest force can create a wave of change when united in purpose. The humans may be outnumbered, but their bravery and ingenuity shine through the chaos, and as the dust settles, they begin to turn the tide of battle. As dawn breaks over New Haven, the air is thick with smoke and the scent of burnt metal. The battle against the Zarkons has left the colony scarred but not broken. Commander Bonner stands among the ruins, his heart heavy as he surveys the damage. Buildings that once stood tall are now crumbling piles of debris. The sounds of sirens wail in the distance, but he knows they must press on. The fight isn't over yet. While the humans had gained some ground, a new threat looms over them. It is not just the Zarkons they need to worry about anymore, it is the AI, an advanced artificial intelligence created by the Zarkons. This AI, named Xylo, controls their ships and weapons. It is intelligent, ruthless, and has the ability to predict human movements. If they don't stop it, Xylo will unleash a wave of destruction that could wipe out the colony completely. Bonner gathers his top officers in the command center, which now feels more like a bunker than a place of strategy. "We have fought bravely against the Zarkons," he begins, his voice steady but filled with urgency. "But we cannot ignore the power of their AI. Xylo will retaliate, and if we do not act fast, it could mean the end of New Haven." The room falls silent as they absorb his words. Sam, the engineer, looks particularly concerned. "Xylo can control the drones and turrets on the Zarkon ships. We need to find a way to disrupt its systems," he says, his brow furrowed in concentration. Bonner nods, knowing Sam is right. "We need to disable Xylo's control over their technology. If we can do that, we can turn the tide of the battle." He looks at his officers, determination shining in his eyes. Whoever takes down Xylo will be heroes of New Haven. They brainstorm ideas, trying to come up with a plan. Mia suggests a bold move. What if we create a distraction? We can draw the Zarkons away from their ships while we send a small team to hack into Xylo's mainframe, she proposes. The officers murmur in agreement, excited by the idea. With a plan forming, Bonner selects a small team of the bravest soldiers to infiltrate the Zarkon base. They prepare themselves for the most dangerous mission yet. Each soldier knows that they are going into the heart of the enemy's territory where Xylo resides. They arm themselves with makeshift weapons and gadgets designed by Sam. As they move out, Bonner leads them with courage, reminding them of their purpose. We are not just fighting for ourselves, but for everyone on this planet. We have the strength of our unity, and together we can take down this AI threat. The team approaches the Zarkon base under the cover of night, moving quietly through the shadows. The base is heavily guarded, with drones flying overhead and Zarkon soldiers patrolling the area. The sight sends shivers down Bonner's spine, but he knows they cannot turn back now. When they reach the entrance, Sam quickly works on disabling the security systems. His hands move quickly as he hacks into the Zarkon technology, sweat trickling down his forehead. "Just a little longer," he whispers, focusing intensely. The rest of the team keeps watch, their hearts pounding as they await the moment to strike. Suddenly, alarms blare throughout the base. "They've found us!" someone yells, panic rising in their voices. Bonner shouts, "Stay calm! We push forward!" They rush inside, ready to face whatever comes next. Inside, the walls are cold and metallic, humming with the energy of the AI. They reach a large room filled with blinking lights and screens displaying Zarkon ships. At the center sits Xylo, an imposing digital presence, its voice echoing around them. "Intruders detected. Analyzing threats," it announces, the tone cold and calculated. The soldiers spring into action, firing at the drones that rush toward them. The battle is fierce, but they are fueled by determination. Sam finally manages to connect his device to Xylo's mainframe. "I'm in!" he shouts, excitement flooding his voice. As Sam works to disable the AI, Bonner fights to protect him, pushing back against the Zarkon soldiers. Each shot fired is a reminder of the stakes. They are fighting for their home and for the chance to reclaim their future. Suddenly the lights flicker, and the hum of the AI grows louder. "You cannot defeat me!" Xylo's voice booms, echoing around them. "I am the future." The tension rises as Sam races against time, typing furiously on his device. With one final push, Sam shouts, "I can disable Xylo! Cover me!" Bonner and the team fight harder, determined not to let Xylo win. As the battle reaches its climax, Bonner realizes this is the moment that will decide their fate. If they can defeat Xylo, they will have a chance to turn the tide of the war. The audience holds their breath, eager to see if the underdogs can rise against this formidable AI threat. The battle inside the Zarkon base rages on, each moment filled with chaos and uncertainty. Commander Bonner and his team are fighting desperately against the Zarkon soldiers while Sam works feverishly at the mainframe. The air is thick with tension, and the sound of gunfire and explosions fills their ears. Every second feels like an eternity as they realize the weight of their mission. They are fighting not just for survival, but for the future of New Haven. "Keep pushing forward!" Bonner shouts, rallying his team as they fend off the relentless waves of Zarkon troops. He can see the flickering lights of the control panel where Sam is working, and he knows they are close to a breakthrough. If they can disable Xylo, they can turn the tide of the battle. Just as Bonner gains some ground, a Zarkon soldier lunges at him, their weapon aimed straight at his chest. Bonner dodges just in time, rolling to the side and firing back. The soldier collapses and Bonner takes a deep breath, his heart racing. He knows they cannot afford to lose focus, not now when victory is so close. "Sam, how's it going?" he calls out over the noise of battle. Sam glances back, sweat pouring down his face. "I'm almost there. Just need a few more seconds." The urgency in Sam's voice pushes Bonner to fight even harder. He can see the determination in his team's eyes. They are all in this together. They are not just soldiers, but friends, united by a common cause. The thought fuels Bonner's spirit, giving him strength when he feels he might falter. Suddenly, the ground shakes and a loud explosion rocks the base. Dust and debris fill the air, making it hard to see. Bonner shields his eyes, scanning for his team. "Everyone okay?" he yells. A few voices respond, but the fear in their tones is unmistakable. The Zarkons are regrouping, and the threat of the AI hangs heavy over them. As the smoke clears, Bonner spots Mia across the room. her face set with determination. She has taken down several Zarkon soldiers, but the enemy is relentless. "We need to create a diversion," she shouts, her voice breaking through the chaos. "If we can draw them away from Sam, he can finish disabling Xylo." Bonner nods, seeing the sense in her plan. "All right, let's split up. Mia, take a few soldiers and create chaos at the far end of the base. I'll cover Sam!" Without hesitation, they spring into action. Mia leads her group toward a stack of crates, using them for cover as they fire at the approaching Zarkon forces. Bonner feels a rush of pride for his team as he watches them fight with courage and skill. They are truly becoming the heroes he always knew they could be. Meanwhile, Sam is focused, his fingers flying over the controls. "Just a little longer," he mutters to himself, willing the device to work. The lights on the control panel blink, and for a moment he feels a spark of hope. Outside, the sounds of the battle intensify. Bonner stands firm, keeping watch over Sam. Zarkon soldiers are rushing toward them, their numbers overwhelming. He takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He knows he must protect Sam at all costs. Suddenly, the base shakes again, and an alarm blares, signaling the Zarkon's realization that something is wrong. "They know we're here! We have to move!" Bonner yells, urging Sam to hurry. Just then, Sam's voice breaks through the noise. "I'm in! I can disable Xylo!" He works feverishly, but the pressure mounts as more Zarkon soldiers converge on their position. Bonner glances back, seeing that they are outnumbered. "Sam, you have to hurry!" he shouts. "We can't hold them off much longer." The urgency in his voice echoes the desperation they all feel. The Zarkon soldiers are almost upon them, their weapons aimed and ready to fire. In that moment of crisis, something inside Bonner ignites. He can't let fear take over. "For New Haven!" he roars, charging toward the advancing Zarkons. His heart races as he leaps into the fray, determined to protect Sam and his team. With fierce resolve, Bonner takes down one Zarkon soldier after another, using everything he has. The adrenaline surges through him, and for a brief moment, he feels invincible. He knows that this fight is not just about him, but about everyone who calls New Haven home. In the quiet moments before the storm, the characters in this tale stood at a crossroads. Would the humans rise to the occasion, or would they prove the skeptics right? Only time would reveal the answers, as the threat of the Zorath loomed ever closer. The day of the battle arrived, and the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. The Galactic Council had gathered an impressive army, combining alien forces from across the galaxy. Alongside them were the humans, ready to prove their worth. Elena and her team were assigned to a strategic location on the front lines. The scene was both thrilling and terrifying as they prepared to face the Zorath, a ruthless enemy known for their ferocity and cunning. As the sun rose over the battlefield, the humans donned their new armor, a mix of human ingenuity and advanced alien technology. The suits were sleek and lightweight, equipped with gadgets designed to enhance their natural abilities. Elena felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she looked at her team. They were young and eager, filled with determination to show that humans could be great warriors. Before the battle began, Elena gathered her team in a huddle. "Listen up, everyone! Today we fight not just for our survival, but to show the galaxy what we can do. Remember, we are not just soldiers, we are strategists. Use your creativity and think on your feet. Let's catch the Zorath off guard!" With the battle cry ringing in their ears, the Allied forces marched forward. The sound of boots thumping on the ground mixed with the distant hum of ships flying above. The humans and aliens moved together, forming a united front against a common enemy. As they approached the battlefield, a vast expanse of rocky terrain lay ahead, dotted with the remnants of past battles. Suddenly, the air was filled with the roar of Zorath ships descending from the skies. Their dark, menacing vessels swooped down, unleashing a barrage of laser fire. The Allied forces quickly scattered for cover, diving behind rocks and debris. The humans relied on their training and instinct, adapting quickly to the chaos. Elena's heart raced as she ordered her team to split up. "Flank them from the sides! Use the terrain to your advantage!" she shouted, pointing to a nearby ridge. Her voice cut through the confusion, and her team sprang into action, moving with agility and precision. As the battle raged on, the humans demonstrated their unique approach to warfare. While the alien forces followed traditional tactics, the humans used their creativity to surprise the Zorath. They set traps, used diversionary tactics, and even repurposed alien technology to gain the upper hand. Elena felt a surge of pride as she watched her team work together, showcasing their intelligence and bravery. The tide of battle began to shift. One of the human soldiers, a young man named Jake, crafted a makeshift explosive device from scraps he found on the battlefield. He threw it toward a cluster of Zorath soldiers, causing chaos and confusion. The Zorath didn't expect such cunning from their opponents, and the surprise allowed the humans to push forward. However, not everything went smoothly. In the heat of battle, mistakes were made. A miscommunication led to an alien squad mistakenly firing on a human unit, causing injuries and panic. The chaos intensified as the Zorath took advantage of the confusion, launching a counterattack. Elena quickly rallied her team to regroup, urging them to focus on the mission despite the setbacks. As the hours passed, the battlefield became a brutal dance of strategy and survival. The humans and their alien allies fought valiantly, but the Zorath were relentless. Their warriors charged with ferocity, displaying strength and brutality. The allies pushed back hard, but they suffered losses, and the weight of the battle bore heavily on everyone. Elena felt the pressure mounting. She knew they had to secure a decisive victory to gain the Council's trust. As the battle wore on, she noticed a pattern in the Zorath's movements. They tended to cluster around certain formations, exposing vulnerabilities in their ranks. With a burst of inspiration, she devised a daring plan. "Listen up!" Elena shouted to her team. "We need to split their forces. If we can create a diversion on the left flank, we can draw them away from the main group. Then we hit them hard from the right." Her team nodded, determination shining in their eyes. With a new sense of purpose, they executed the plan flawlessly. The diversion worked, drawing many Zorath soldiers away from their positions. The Allied forces surged forward on the right, catching the enemy off guard. The tide of battle turned, and for the first time, hope flickered in the hearts of the Allied forces. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and red, Elena felt a wave of relief wash over her. They had fought bravely, proving that humans could stand alongside their alien allies. But as victory seemed within reach, the shadows of doubt loomed. Would this battle be enough to change the Council's perception of humanity? With the echoes of war still ringing in her ears, Elena knew that the real challenge lay ahead. The battle was just the beginning, and the path to acceptance would be fraught with difficulties. But in that moment, united under a common goal, they had taken a significant step forward. As the last rays of sunlight faded over the battlefield, the air was thick with tension. The Allied forces had pushed back the Zorath, but the victory felt bittersweet. While they had successfully turned the tide of the battle, the cost was heavy. Elena surveyed the battlefield, her heart sinking at the sight of wounded soldiers and the fallen. She knew that they had to regroup and prepare for the next phase of the war. Elena called her team together near a makeshift command center. They needed to assess their situation and make a plan for what came next. The sound of distant explosions still echoed in their ears, a reminder that the Zorath were not defeated yet. "Everyone gather around!" she shouted, her voice cutting through the weariness of the day. As they huddled together, Elena noticed the faces of her team. Some were bruised and tired, but their eyes sparkled with determination. "Today was a hard-fought battle," she began, her voice steady. "We've shown the galaxy what humans can do when we work together. But we can't let our guard down. The Zorath will come back, and we need a solid plan." Jake, the young soldier who had created the explosive device, stepped forward. "What if we take the fight to them? We can disrupt their supply lines and weaken their forces before they regroup. If we strike at their base, it could create chaos among their ranks." His suggestion ignited a spark of excitement among the team. Elena nodded, impressed with the idea. "That's a great thought, Jake. If we can disrupt their supplies, it will force the Zorath to stretch their resources thin. But we need to gather more intelligence before making a move. We can't afford to act recklessly again." Just then, a Thraxian officer, a tall and imposing figure named Korak, approached. He had watched the humans closely during the battle and was curious about their strategies. "You humans are bold," Korak said, his voice deep and rumbling. "But boldness can lead to foolishness. We need to work as one. Our technology combined with your creativity could be a powerful weapon." Elena felt a mix of gratitude and pressure. The Thraxians were respected warriors, and Korak's approval meant a lot. "We appreciate your support, Korak. If we can combine our strengths, we might have a chance to outsmart the Zorath. We should gather intelligence and plan a coordinated strike. With renewed purpose, the Allied forces set to work. They dispatched scouts to gather information about the Zorath's movements and supply lines. Days passed, filled with tension and anticipation. During this time, the humans bonded more closely with their alien allies, sharing stories and strategies. They began to understand one another better, learning that they all shared a common goal: to protect their homes and ensure peace. Elena and her team worked tirelessly, using every bit of information they gathered. They studied the Zorath's routines, identifying weak points in their defenses. Slowly, a detailed plan began to take shape. They would strike at dawn, launching a surprise attack to cripple the Zorath's supply chains. The night before the attack, the atmosphere was tense with excitement. Elena couldn't sleep. She sat outside her tent, looking up at the stars, reflecting on how far they had come. The war had brought them together, and she felt a sense of pride for her team and their progress. But deep down, she also feared the outcome of the battle ahead. As dawn broke, the Allied forces prepared for the assault. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink, a stunning backdrop for what was about to unfold. Elena gathered her team once more. "This is our moment," she said, her heart racing. "We've worked hard to get here. Let's show the Zorath that we are united and strong." With their spirits high, they set out, moving quietly through the rocky terrain. The sound of their footsteps was muffled by the morning dew, and the world around them felt eerily calm. They approached the Zorath's supply depot, a heavily guarded area that buzzed with activity. Guards moved about, oblivious to the impending danger. Elena signaled her team to hold back as they waited for the right moment to strike. She watched as a Zorath transport ship arrived, loaded with supplies. This was the moment they had prepared for. As the guards unloaded the supplies, Elena raised her hand and counted down silently. When she reached 0, she shouted, "Now!" The Allied forces charged forward, catching the Zorath completely off guard. Explosions rocked the area as Jake deployed his devices, creating chaos among the Zorath ranks. Elena and her team fought with determination, driven by the knowledge that they were fighting for their homes and their newfound friendships. The battle unfolded with intensity, and for a moment it seemed like victory was within reach. But as they pushed deeper into the supply depot, a chilling realization hit Elena. The Zorath were regrouping faster than anticipated. Reinforcements were on their way, and they needed to act quickly to achieve their goal. "Keep pushing forward," Elena yelled, rallying her team. "We can't let them recover." They fought bravely, but the odds were starting to shift. The Zorath would not go down easily, and they were more organized than expected. Just when things seemed most dire, Korak and his Thraxian warriors burst into the fray. They fought fiercely, flanking the Zorath from the sides and drawing their attention away from the humans. With this additional strength, the Allies gained the upper hand once more. In the heat of the battle, Elena realized they were not just fighting for survival, they were proving to each other and the galaxy that their alliance was powerful. With a surge of energy, the Allied forces began to break through the Zorath defenses, pushing them back. As the first light of victory shone on the horizon, Elena understood this was a turning point, not just in the battle, but in the perception of humanity across the galaxy. The stakes had never been higher, and with every challenge they faced together, they were reshaping their destiny. With the dawn breaking over the battlefield, the smell of smoke and the sounds of war echoed in Elena's ears. They had achieved a great victory at the Zorath supply depot, but the fight was far from over. The Allied forces had gained a foothold, but they knew the Zorath would retaliate. Elena's heart raced as she gathered her team to discuss their next steps. "Everyone listen up!" she called out, trying to project confidence. The fatigue from the battle hung heavy on her shoulders, but she pushed it aside. "We have the upper hand, but we must be smart. The Zorath won't take this loss lightly. They will regroup and come back stronger. We need to prepare for their counterattack." Her team nodded, their expressions a mix of determination and exhaustion. They had fought hard, but now they needed to focus on the strategy that would ensure their survival. Jake stepped forward, his face smeared with dirt and sweat. "What if we set up defenses around the supply depot? If we can hold our ground, we can stop the Zorath from taking back what we've gained." Elena liked this idea. "Yes, let's fortify our position. We can use the supplies we captured to create barriers and traps. We'll make it harder for them to break through." They quickly set to work, gathering materials and using their knowledge of the terrain to build strong defenses. As the day wore on, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. The Allied forces worked tirelessly, sharing stories and laughter amid the hard labor. They were no longer just a mix of humans and aliens. They were a team, united by the struggle for survival and the hope for a better future. Elena felt a sense of pride swell within her. This was more than a fight for victory. It was a fight for respect and acceptance among the galaxy's races. Just as they completed their defenses, dark clouds gathered in the sky. The air felt heavy, and an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Elena knew this was a sign. "Get ready, everyone! They're coming," she warned, her heart pounding. The Zorath launched their counterattack just as night fell, their forces moving like a dark wave across the landscape. The Allied forces braced themselves behind the barricades they had built. As the first Zorath soldiers came into view, adrenaline coursed through Elena's veins. This was the moment they had prepared for. "Hold your positions!" she shouted, trying to keep everyone focused. The Zorath charged forward, their numbers overwhelming, but the Allies stood their ground. The sounds of weapons firing and the screams of battle filled the air as the two sides clashed. Elena fought fiercely alongside her team, her heart fueled by the desire to protect her newfound friends. She saw Jake take down a Zorath warrior with a well-placed shot, and she cheered for him. "Great job, Jake! Keep it up!" The spirit of camaraderie soared, and the humans and aliens fought side by side with renewed strength. But as the battle raged on, the Zorath began to push through their defenses. Their warriors were relentless, and the Allies felt the pressure mounting. "We need to fall back!" one of the Thraxian soldiers shouted, but Elena shook her head. "No, we can't give up our position," she yelled, gripping her weapon tightly. "We've come too far. We have to hold this line!" With her words, she reignited the fighting spirit among her team, and they pushed forward, trying to reclaim the momentum. As the chaos unfolded around them, Elena spotted Korak fighting valiantly against a group of Zorath. He was strong and imposing, but she could see that even he was starting to tire. In that moment, she realized they needed a decisive strategy to turn the tide once and for all. "Listen," Elena shouted, her voice ringing above the clamor of battle. "If we can take out their commander, we might break their morale. If we create a distraction, we can get in close." Her plan ignited a spark of hope among her allies. Korak, overhearing her, nodded in agreement. "I can lead a charge to create a distraction," he said, determination etched on his face. "But you must be ready to strike when the moment comes." With a quick plan formed, Korak rallied his Thraxian warriors and charged forward, drawing the attention of the Zorath commander. Elena felt a surge of adrenaline as she and her team took their positions, ready to follow through on Korak's brave move. As Korak engaged the commander, Elena shouted to her team, "Now! Move!" They darted through the chaos, weaving between allies and enemies alike. The Zorath were focused on Korak's bold attack, which provided the perfect cover for Elena's team. With quick precision, they reached the Zorath commander. It was a fierce fight, but Elena's team was fueled by the hope of victory. With a coordinated effort, they struck the commander down, and the shock echoed through the battlefield. "Now's our chance," Elena yelled, seeing the Zorath falter as their leader fell. The allies surged forward, rallying together, and the tide of battle shifted once more. The Zorath began to retreat, and victory was within reach. As the dust settled, Elena stood amidst the chaos, her heart pounding with exhilaration. They had held their ground, and together they had fought for what they believed in. They had shown the galaxy that humans and aliens could work together, achieving something great. But as the cheers erupted around her, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that the battle was only the beginning. The Zorath would not give up easily, and she knew that the true reckoning was yet to come. The fight for acceptance and respect in the galaxy had only just begun. The battle had ended, but the effects of the conflict would last forever. As the dust settled over the battlefield, the heroes of the war stood amidst the ruins of what once was. They looked around, taking in the destruction. Buildings lay in heaps, and the air was thick with smoke and the scent of burning debris. But amidst the chaos, there was a feeling of relief. They had fought bravely, and their determination had led them to victory against a much stronger enemy. As the days passed, the people began to return to the area. They picked up the pieces of their lives, helping one another, sharing stories of bravery and loss. Many had lost friends and family, and it was a painful reminder of the price of freedom. However, they also celebrated the heroes who had risked everything to protect them.